Hi, this is Sarah McClellan in New York City with Pixels and Pills. We are at BDI's Social Communication and Healthcare Roundtables and Case Studies. I'm here with Mr. Jay Bryant from Live World. How are you?
Really good.
Give me a little bit about your background and also what Live World offers within the pharma space.
Sure. So my background, I've been involved in social media and online communities for the past 15 years. Prior to that, I was actually a newspaper photographer and editor, so I have a real strong journalism and communications background. LiveWorld is a company that does work in providing social media platforms, community management, and then why we're here working with Pharma is around content moderation. I've got a staff of moderators based here in the United States, and we do a lot of work reviewing content on Facebook and other social media platforms for pharmaceutical and other industries.
So with social media and the social media space developing and evolving all the time within the pharma, platform, how do you find that things are changing as people are becoming more willing to put their information out there? I know you were speaking about some surprising results in your research with adverse effects actually being quite low on Facebook pages and things like that. What are you finding?
We're finding that, one, it's a very highly regulated environment, and everybody is sort of waiting for the FDA to come out with social media guidelines. I think some companies are taking the attitude, we can't wait anymore because this is where the consumers are, and we need to talk and tell our story with them. Consequently, we've been doing work, particularly with several OTC brands, in doing the moderation on their Facebook pages. So we did an analysis of like 3 months, roughly 9,000 messages or comments that were posted onto their pages, and found out of that 9,000, only about 2% were actually adverse events. Nielsen did a similar study about a year ago, found a very, very similar ratio. So this is being consistent over the last, I would say, 2 years, that when pharma gets involved in social media, it's not opening up a floodgate of additional work for them handling all these adverse events, which has always been a big fear. Reality is it really isn't. If you properly manage and anticipate of what's going on, so much of what they find an adverse event is stuff that's already coming through existing channels, so we're not really finding out new additional information. Most of the time, the stuff that we're reporting is already known stuff that they know about. So a lot of it then becomes basically a documentation process for them and sending in the appropriate information in the FDA.
When pharmaceutical companies or brands are trying to connect with consumers through their social media or their Facebook pages in specifics, how did they manage to sort of get their information out there in a more prominent way? How can they sort of come up within the feed and try and get their message across?
A lot of it is have real people, have real personalities, engaging in conversations, being able to come in and solicit comments and engage with people, recognize people when they come in and comments or suggestions, come back and interact and follow up with them. Because of the journalism background, a lot of it's about content planning. There's a lot of stuff, particularly with medications relating to seasonality. How do you anticipate, provide information to consumers, and then look for feedback from them and do that. We also see them doing still a lot of traditional things such as couponing and offering incentives through these channels to drive the interaction. But we're seeing more and more the science, it's become a new science of Facebook EdgeRank, of looking at analyzing how your interactivity, the number of comments and how that impacts how your message is showing up out in the user's field. And so we're seeing some companies being very, very successful because they're able to do a lot of interaction with their clients, and this gets their message out into the different feeds that their users are coming into.
What has been your experience? Is it just towards Facebook? Or are you also looking at Twitter? How are things changing on Twitter with people connecting with consumers?
We're seeing a lot of companies that are using this for basically customer support type of channels. They're looking for specific issues around their products and then responding back to them. They're sharing information, but we've seen in the pharmaceutical companies we work with use it very successfully for customer service and customer support issues.
Well, thank you so much, Jay, for speaking with us today.
Sure, thank you. you.
And we hope to see you again soon at another conference. Okay. This is Sarah McClellan with Pixels and Pills in